In our previous segment, we have discussed a lot on the mechanism, the process of absorption in various parts of alimentary canal. And in detail, we have discussed regarding the process of absorption of fats using the micelles as well as chylomicrons, using the lacteal, and all these things we have discussed. So basically, in this chapter, we are left with only one topic, and the topic is disorders related to digestive system. So today's topic is disorders related to digestive system. Clear? So this is our topic, disorders related to digestive system. The first and the most common disorder which is associated with the digestive system is jaundice. Jaundice is basically yellowishness of skin, so it is basically yellowishness of skin. Generally, there is one pigment in our body, or basically in the blood, that is in RBCs, which is called as hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is broken down to produce bilirubin plus biliverdin. So this reaction takes place in liver. So in the liver, hemoglobin is broken down to produce bilirubin as well as biliverdin. These bilirubin and biliverdin are bile pigments, and these bile pigments are generally excreted out in the waste material, in the form of waste material, that is along with the fecal waste, it is removed out of the body. And bilirubin and biliverdin are a sort of yellowish color pigment. Because of these two pigments only, that is bilirubin as well as biliverdin, the color of the fecal waste is of yellow. The color of the fecal waste is yellow because of these two pigments, which are removed out, which are digested out from the body in the form of fecal waste. Normally, this is the condition. Under normal physiological condition, hemoglobin broken down to produce bilirubin as well as biliverdin, and these are acting as a bile pigment which is present in the bile juice, and they are removed out in the form of fecal waste. Now, what happens in the jaundice is, because there is an obstruction in the liver, so main cause of the jaundice is, there are two causes. The first is obstruction in the liver, that means in the ducts which are responsible for storage, which are responsible for secreting something which we call this bile, that is hepatopancreatic duct or cystic duct, whatever it is. So if there is an obstruction, that is blockade in the duct. Second is infections in the liver. So infections in the liver may lead to jaundice, and the technical or medical term for the jaundice is hepatitis. So technical term for the jaundice is hepatitis. Now understand this term hepatitis. Hepatitis, Hepatitis. Hepat is for, we know medical term for liver is hepat. Itis means inflammation. Itis means inflammation. So hepatitis is inflammation in the liver. And basically the two major reasons for the jaundice are obstruction, that is the blockade in the bile in the liver, that is either in the bile duct, either in the cystic duct, either in the hepatopancreatic duct, whatever it is, which are passing from the liver. The main center should be liver, and infections in liver may lead to jaundice. Now, in jaundice, because of the problem with the liver, these two pigments are not removed out. These two pigments are not excreted out from the body. So their level increases in the body. So bilirubin, biliverdin bile pigment level is increased in the body, and these pigments, that is bilirubin and biliverdin, are deposited beneath the skin as well as eyes. That's why we observe paleness yellow, the pale yellow color of our body, basically the skin as well as eyes in jaundice. Clear? So level is increased in the body. So these pigments, that is bilirubin and biliverdin, are deposited. Where they are deposited? Beneath the skin the jaundice is because of these bile pigments only. So what we discussed, the cause, the reaction under normal physiological condition as well as in hepatitis or jaundice, and what are the main symptoms that we observe in case of jaundice, that is deposition of bile pigments beneath the skin as well as eyes. That's why we observe eyes as well as skin are of yellowish color or pale yellowish color. Clear? Now the next thing that we have to discuss is regarding the indigestion, or we can also discuss few more symptoms related to jaundice. The first one is loss of appetite. Let us discuss few more symptoms of jaundice. So the first one is loss of appetite. Then the second is this deposition of bile pigments or yellowishness of skin, and the third most important symptom associated with the jaundice is what we call it as vomiting. So these are the three these are the three symptoms that are associated with the jaundice, that is loss of appetite, yellowishness of skin as well as vomiting. Now let us go with the second disorder of digestive system, that is indigestion. So second is indigestion. From the name only we can suggest or we can comment indigestion means there is no proper digestion, and if there is no proper digestion, the system will give us the feeling of fullness. That means stomach is full now, we are not able to eat more. So indigestion basically is there is no proper digestion. There is no proper digestion. And if there is no proper digestion, what signal it will give to the body? If there is no proper digestion, it will give the feeling of fullness. It will give the feeling of fullness. That means the stomach is full now. Clear? And the most important cause of indigestion is change in the physiology of the body. So say for example, normally under normal conditions, normal physiological conditions, you are not eating any spicy food, and suddenly this evening you start eating spicy food, then this may lead to irritation of the alimentary canal, and that may lead to indigestion. So the first cause may be spicy food, may be one of the cause. Then improper sleep can also be one of the cause of indigestion. Improper sleep can one of the cause of indigestion. Clear? Now let us discuss the third disorder which is associated with the digestive system, that is what we call it as diarrhea. Basically diarrhea means in common language we call it as loose motions. So commonly diarrhea is called as loose motions. It is because of the improper bowel movements of the body, that is bowel movements of the alimentary canal, that is GI tract, and increased liquidity of the fecal discharge or the fecal waste. So basically it is improper bowel movements of GI tract, basically in the stomach region, and increased liquidity of fecal waste. Now what is the meaning of increased liquidity of fecal waste? That means the stool, the fecus will have large amount of water, and that we all know that happens in diarrhea or loose motions. So basically we can comment one more on this, that it decreases or it reduces the absorption of water, because if water is not absorbed, then only it is going in the watery stool. So water is not absorbed, or to be more appropriate, let us write, it reduces absorption of water. And the most common thing regarding diarrhea, that is the most common cause of diarrhea, is consumption of contaminated food as well as water. So for diarrhea, the most common reason is, that is contamination consumption of contaminated food and water. Now what is the meaning of consumption of contaminated food? Contaminated food means the food which shows the presence of microorganisms, say for example bacteria, viruses, etc. So consumption of the contaminated food and water may be one of the reasons for diarrhea, and infections also, the intestinal infections. So indigestion as well as diarrhea. Now the fourth important disorder that is associated with the digestive system is constipation. Now we are left with only two, that is constipation and vomiting. So let us discuss the fourth disorder, that is constipation. So constipation means what? Basically it is the accumulation of the fecal waste within the rectum of the body, rectum part of the large intestine. Food, that is the digested food which is in the form of fecal waste, it is stored for a very long period of time in the rectum, and the reason could be improper bowel movements as well as certain infections of the GI tract. So the fourth one is constipation. Constipation is basically food is, or let us write, fecal waste. Fecal waste is accumulated or it is stored in rectum for a very long period of time, and the reason for this may be infections of the GI tract as well as improper bowel movements, as well as improper bowel movements, and enzymes may not be secreted properly. This all can be the reason, probable reason for constipation. Then the last disorder that we have to discuss is vomiting. Vomiting is basically a kind of reverse reflex, in which the reverse peristalsis movement of the body, the reverse peristalsis movement of the alimentary canal takes place. So basically it shows reverse peristalsis basically in the stomach region. The most common cause for vomiting is again infections. Clear? And the consumption of the contaminated food. Okay, infections as well as consumption of fast food, that is which is generally contaminated, is one of the reasons for vomiting. So basically it shows reverse peristalsis. Reverse peristalsis means what? The peristaltic movement which is reverse, that is basically originates from the stomach, that is gastric part of the alimentary canal or GI tract. From gastric region the reflux reaches to esophagus, then to pharynx, and in the mouth vomiting takes place. Now this is regulated by our central nervous system. Basically in the medulla part of our brain the vomit center is located. So it is mainly controlled by vomit center in medulla part of brain. Clear? Like there are various centers which are present: respiratory center, cardiovascular center, digestive center, hunger center, thirst center, that are activated or deactivated. So once it is activated, it results into the vomiting. So this is all about the disorders which are associated with the digestive system. So with this we complete this chapter, that is the chapter of digestion and absorption.